Hello, my good people. Nice to talk to you again. We're together again. Today we have a nice collection of children's textbooks for the 1950s that the children were learning about government and about the social activities together and having fun. So let's take a look at some of these books right now. Let's take a look at these beautiful books. One is called Big City Fun. Another one is called Big City Government. It's the Big City series. The other one is called City Workers, the Big City series. Let's take a look at the first one right now, Big City Fun. Let's take a look at this. Big City Fun from the 1950s. Beautiful pictures and third printing. This is okay. This is a book about the boys and girls in Miss Twinkle's class. This book tells about the many ways they have fun. This picture shows some of the boys and girls in Miss Twinkle's class going to school. There are Sam and Mike and Tom and many other boys in her class. Among the girls are Anne and Sue, Dot and Ray and Betty. The children in Miss Twinkle's class know how to have fun in many ways and in many places. This book will tell you how they have fun. You can learn from this book many new ways to have fun. The children in Miss Twinkle's class have fun at school. At school, they have fun learning by playing with things, making things, and reading about things. Read about how they have fun at school. Start on page 6. There are many ways to have fun with the family. Have you ever helped care for a baby or helped in the kitchen? Do you read and play games with your family? You will read about these kind of fun when you turn to page 26. From this book, you can learn many ways to have fun by yourself. There are many ways to have fun when you are alone or sick at home. You can read about them starting on page 30. Fun at other people's homes, fun outdoors. These are fun in the neighborhood parks, right over here, fun in the neighborhood. Near where you live, there are many places to play, things to see, and things to do. This book will tell you about the many new ways to have fun in the neighborhood. Fun on trips, they go to places. Fun in school. They are glad to see their friends. They have a lot to say to each other. They talk about games they have played. They tell jokes and stories they have heard. They tell secrets to their best friends. Here's a little girl playing, washing her doll. Often the children bring things to show to one another. Sometimes they bring toys from the 5 and 10 cent store. They bring tiny plastic automobiles and little horses with cowboys and Indians on them. Little plastic soldiers and cowboys are the boys' favorite toys. One day Sam brought some badges to school. He pinned them on his friends' coats and wore one himself. Girls often bring little plastic dolls. Sometimes they bring big dolls, too. They make clothes for the doll. One day Anne brought a little washtub to school. She set it out on the table in the playhouse. All the girls washed their dolls' clothes with warm water and soap. Then they hung their washing on the dryer. When the clothes were dry, the girls ironed them on the ironing board in the playhouse. You see, they made little clotheslines to hang up the clothing to dry, the girls, as they were washing, after they washed the dolls' clothing. The girls have a playhouse. It has tiny furniture in it. Almost every day, one of the girls brings something for the dollhouse. There are tiny tables and chairs and tiny beds for the little plastic dolls. Some of the girls weave little rugs for the floor of the dollhouse. In the picture, you can see the girls weaving and sewing rugs. The boys are weaving mats to take to their mothers. You see, they're learning. The girls are learning skills of weaving and sewing rugs. The boys are weaving mats to take to their mothers. Miss Twinkle's room is pleasant. There are many interesting and pretty things in it. The children are proud of their room. They all do jobs to keep it neat and clean. Some of them water the plants. Others keep the library corner in order and dust the bookcases. When the furniture needs to be dusted or washed, 2 or 3 children always say, "We will do that job." The boys and girls put their paintings and drawings on the walls. The children in this picture are putting up a display of their own pictures and some others that they like. The children like to have visitors come to visit their rooms. But the visitors always say, "What a pretty room." Here's a visitor, a police officer. One day a policeman came to visit the class. He told about the job of being a policeman. He explained his own work and the work that other policemen do. Some policemen ride in automobiles or on motorcycles. He said others ride on horses and some walk. But all of them help people and try to keep them safe. He told the class about the PAL. These letters stand for Police Athletic League. Police Athletic League, a club which policemen run for boys and girls. In this club, children learn games and sports. "Can we join the PAL?" asked Sam. "Yes," said the policeman. "Ask your father or mother to take you to the station house nearest your home. You will find a policeman there who is in charge of fun for children." "Do we have to pay to belong to the PAL?" Dot asked. "Only 10 cents a year," said the policeman. Miss Twinkle and her class thanked the policeman for coming to visit them. Many children said, "We are going to join the PAL." There are many ways for Miss Twinkle's class to have fun in their room. The children like to paint. They take turns at the easel. When they dip their brushes in the paint, it feels soft and smooth and wet. They put the wet brushes on the paper. Each child watches to see what the brush does with the color. Perhaps it makes a big red shape on the paper. Later, the brush may put another color beside the red. A light color looks pretty besides a dark color. The children have fun when they model with clay. The clay feels soft and smooth in their hands. as they press hard to make it into shapes. Sometimes they make dishes. They pat and smooth the clay as they finish their work. Some children make designs in the clay with small, smooth sticks. When the clay things are dry, the children often take them home. They may leave their dishes and clay animals at school to make their room look pretty. Many boys and girls think blocks are the best of anything to build with. They build bridges and run toy boats under them. They build streets on which to run their little automobiles. Sometimes they use town people and toy animals with the things they build. When the boys build forts, they make their toy soldiers fight better. The girls build hospitals. They make believe they are nurses, and they take care of the soldiers who get hurt in the battle. What do you like to build with blocks? Miss Twinkle's children often makes things from paper and cardboard. Here you see Tom painting the truck he has just made. Mike has almost finished making a steam engine. Jim is making a merry-go-round. What kind of animal do you think he will put on his merry-go-round next? There is another boy at the work table. Some children like to make things of wood. It is fun to pound a nail with a hammer. Harry is the best builder in the class. He knows how to make the nails go straight into the wood without bending. Have you ever made a cart like this? Music is such fun. Music means singing and rhythm, bands and dancing. Miss Twinkle's children often play singing games like London Bridge and 10 Little Indians. They enjoy hearing music played on the record player. When they play On a Rainy Day, they act out the story. When the sun shines, makes every child want to do rhythms. The children have a rhythm band. Today, Joe is the leader. Can you name all the instruments the children are playing? Sometimes the boys and girls bring records to play on the record player. Ray once brought the Laughing Jack-o'-lantern. Fred often brings records like the Big Rock Candy Mountain. At Christmas time, the children played Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer every day. They always joined in with the singing. Some of the music on records is so beautiful that the children just sit and still and listen. Peter and the Wolf is one of the most exciting records. They can tell by the music when the wolf is coming close. Other records that tell a story are Tubby the Tuba and Pee-wee the Piccolo. The children have a playhouse in one corner of their room. They are having a party in the playhouse today. Ray is the mother and Jerry is the father. They have two guests at the house at the table with them. Mother has put the babies to bed early. What things that we have in our homes can you find in this picture? Let's get a better look at the picture here. Often the children play quiet games. Picture Lotto and Dominoes are two of their favorite games. Sometimes they make designs with little pieces of blue and red and yellow wood. The girls like to play with tiny plastic furniture. These boys and girls are making scrapbooks. They have pictures to put them into their scrapbooks. They have written stories about the pictures. What kind of scrapbook would you like to make? Where would you look for pictures? Miss Twinkle's children think that books are great fun. They have a bookcase filled with many kinds of books. They have story books, poetry books, and books that tell about real people and real things. These children are in the library corner. They are reading to find out some things they want to know. Sometimes several children are in the library corner together. Sometimes there are only two or three. There is a bookmobile in the school. You can see it in this picture. The bookmobile is full of books from the school library. A girl from another class is telling Miss Twinkle's children about a new book. Perhaps Miss Twinkle will read this book to the class. The children are very, very attentive to this book that the teacher is showing them. When Miss Twinkle reads stories to the class, everybody has fun. Here she is showing the children some pages in a book. Can you guess why? The children sometimes have puppet shows. Sometimes they act out plays themselves. They make the puppets and they make costumes for their plays. In the picture above, Anne is making a puppet. The other children are sewing too. Have you ever done any sewing at school or at home? Here is the puppet stage with two puppets. What do you think Ruth and Gay are doing? The class will have a puppet show for their mothers someday soon. Here they are making puppets and costumes, and here's the puppet stage. The boys and girls act out their own plays sometimes. Above we see Ed helping little Mo get his costume on. Peggy is watching. Do you think she wants to help? Costumes like this are easy to make. Try to make a costume yourself someday. This is a picture of a play Miss Twinkle's children gave for another class. Frank is the doctor. He is wearing his father's hat and coat. Mary is the sick girl, and Ruth is her mother. Why does Ruth look so sad? Miss Twinkle's children often go to other rooms in the school. They like to visit the library and the principal's office. What other rooms do you think they visit? One day the principal took them down to the furnace room to see how the school is kept warm. The custodian showed them the big furnace and the coal that goes into it. He said that many other schools burn oil in their furnaces. Have you ever visited the furnace room in your school? The children in the school have a garden. The big picture shows some of Miss Twinkle's children working in the school garden. Some of them are planting flower seeds, and some are planting vegetable seeds. The small pictures show how the garden looked later in the year. What has happened to the seeds Miss Twinkle's children planted? Miss Twinkle often takes her class on trips. They go to stores to buy food for their parties and picnics. They notice all the kinds of food in the stores. One day, when they got back to school, they decided to have a make-believe store. They brought things from home to make their store look real. They brought empty cracker boxes and tomato cans and milk cartons. Once the children went to a flower store. There they saw many beautiful plants. The florist gave the children some flowers to take back to school. Nan and Jan put the flowers in vases with water to keep them fresh. All that week, the children said, "How pretty our flowers look." One day, Miss Twinkle and her class were showing some new children their school. In the principal's office, they saw a large aquarium. Goldfish were swimming around in it. The children said, "Let's have an aquarium in our room." Anne said, "I have a big glass tank at home. I'll bring it for our aquarium." The next day, she brought the tank to school. Miss Twinkle showed the class a strip film about making an aquarium. The next morning, the class went to Mrs. Bell's pet shop. When they got to the shop, what do you think they saw in the window? The picture at the right tells you they saw many other animals inside the store. The children looked at the big tanks where many kinds of fish were swimming. There were tiny blackfish, goldfish, small whitefish with long streamers, and fish with stripes. The children chose one blackfish and 2 goldfish. They bought 2 snails. They had learned from the strip film that snails help keep an aquarium clean. The children asked Mrs. Bell for some gravel and some green water plants. She put the things they bought in paper cartons. They paid Mrs. Bell and said goodbye to her. When they were at school again, Miss Twinkle helped Anne and when they were at school again, Miss Twinkle helped Anne and Jim get the equipment ready for the fish. She put the fish into their new home. The little fish swam around as if they were happy. Mary made this picture of the pet shop. You have read about many things that Miss Twinkle's children do in class. Can't you see why they like to go to school? Can you think of some more ways to have fun in school? And so anyway, we have more in the book, Fun with the Family. This is the book of Big City Fun. Fun with the Family. We'll see some more pictures. Fun by yourself. Fun at other people's homes. Fun outdoors. Fun outdoors. They went to a pool. They were all having fun at a public park. Fun at the zoo. They're fishing. These are some pictures that the children made. Fun in the neighborhood.